The world of Dragon Quest XI is, above all, a fantastic journey for your dreams. It immediately establishes the game's scope when you journey to the top of Cobblestone Tor and peer out on the vast continent of Urdria. When I decided to write about Dragon Quest XI's world, I assumed I'd be making comparisons to how it was so much like England. I continued this train of thought as I strolled around Cobblestone, a town that mesmerizes you with a vision of a 15th century village, and culture or religion that gives each resident a turquoise garb that is unique to this town. Maybe the designers hid the reason in a book somewhere, but this is a 60-hour game, and I have an essay to write. Dragon Quest XI continued to draw inspiration from Arthurian legend as I reached the grand castle of Heliodor, whose rustic yet polished aesthetic stirred memories of King's Landing. The halls of Heliodor magnificently capture the palace's grandeur by how large they are compared to the luminary. Dragon Quest then subverts expectations when the next town is the most Japanese village I've ever been to in a JRPG, fashioned with torii gates leading to a temple shrine, steam baths, and bamboo peppered throughout. Hotto is the town that revealed that this wasn't just going to be a generic reimagining of fantasy Europe that's been seen hundreds of times before. Instead, this continent would incorporate cultures and architecture from all across the natural world. I could spend the rest of this video writing a paragraph on each town, where it's based off, and the liberties it takes to make it fit in with the fantastical world, but we'd be here all day. There's almost nothing I could say about the character design. It's Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball design. I've only finished the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament at the time of writing, so I feel unqualified to critique it, as I've only seen Toriyama's work at his worst. Not to imply that it's terrible, but as with all creators at their beginnings, you can only go up from here. I would much rather talk about the enemy design. It's utterly fantastic. With no hyperbole in my voice, it puts every Pokemon generation to shame. Even the most basic slimes, the pastel blue, the open-mouthed smile, the simple shape, it's a perfect enemy. It's recognizable, it's whimsical, it's easy to draw, it's ideal for all types of marketing. The slime is utter perfection as an enemy and mascot. No other enemy in JRPGs could ever surpass the slime, but Dragon Quest does its darndest to try. Before I even begin, hats off to the localization team, as the names are just the chef's kiss on this spectacular bestiary. Sham Hatwitch is like a baby gorilla, a big puffed out chest or oversized hat that conceals an adorable animal behind it, although it's rather morbidly named. The Skull Rider is a distant cousin of Shu from the Pilaf saga, and speaking of Pilaf, the game mirrors Dragon Ball by having the first boss battle against a familiar looking tricky devil. They all have specific animations that make them feel alive, whether they be a simple animal or soldier of darkness. Once again, I have 2 sentences for every enemy in the game, but we'd be here all day, and I haven't even gotten to the second segment yet. When I review the world of a game, I look at 2 aspects: the visual design, which we just extensively covered, and the level design, how the world benefits and adds to the gameplay. So what do I think of Dragon Quest XI's level design? I think it's awful. I said earlier how this is a globe-trotting adventure. Well, it feels like every loading screen took me across the ocean to a new country. Nothing about Dragon Quest XI feels cohesive. One area will be draped in a thick blanket of snow, the next will be a stone mountain with fields of grass. The entire world feels disjointed from everything else. The most jarring transition is when we travel from the scalding deserts to a lush jungle swamp. And then later in the game, it's revealed that the Desert Kingdom is having difficulty growing crops? How the fuck is that possible when you're 5 minutes from a jungle? Instead of trekking through a continent, I felt like I was sailing through an archipelago, which is far less grandiose. Worse than the lack of cohesion is how the world is not interactable at all. All of the shrubbery is transparent, and I could never escape the feeling that I was merely stuck onto the world and never living in it. The dungeons feel flat, the open areas feel flat, it all feels so bare. I know for a fact that the developers agree with me because they literally translated the game to 2D. That's how flat the world is. It could literally have been 2D. The cities escape the bare bones level design and feel unique and layered, but I've already given them plenty of praise. Because I started positively, I'd like to end on something I enjoyed: the roaming toggles. In a game this long, it's hard not to forget certain vital elements when your focus is on something entirely different. But every time I saw a toggle wandering the lands, it was a fresh reminder that I'm the most critical person in this world. I'm the only one who can see these creatures, I'm the only one who can save the world. So every toggle is a bolt of lightning that tells you to keep going, to keep chasing them, to draw nearer to the end of your journey.